Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? It's Aquarius Leviathan Prophecy, and today, man, I just want to say it is crazy how people. It's crazy how people are like completely brainwashed. Like, okay, you want to say KD is, oh yeah, but don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Trying to hit to 300 subscribers. I'm almost, well, not really almost there, but I'm almost there. 900 more subscribers, and I'm already there. But anyways, man, did I say nine? I meant 90, because 90 plus 10 is, you get the math. But anyways, man, today I wanted to talk about Kevin Durant. Now, obviously, Kevin Durant is a bona fide Hall of Famer in some people's opinion. Whether or not the move he made was as a 9, as a 10, as 11, it don't matter. He got a chip. He got 2 chips. Could have been 3. Could have been 4. Who knows? But you know, I knew that he was not going to stay in Golden State for long because it didn't really matter what he did. It was Stephen Curry's team. you know, People saying, "Oh, they can't win another championship without him." Apparently, they did. They won a championship before, and they won a championship without him. So apparently, they never needed him. But Kevin Durant don't understand that. Kevin Durant has always wanted to be a number one. Even when he came into the league, he was viewed as a number one. Well, most people viewed him as a number one, but I always knew that he was viewed as a number two because he don't have that championship pedigree yet. Until he goes to an organization and hand deliver a championship, this is not gonna matter. Like, he could go to Golden State. Ain't no Golden State Warriors fans that are gonna remember. Oh yeah, KD dropped like a few buckets, and he did this, he did that. Nah, Kevin Durant is more of a follower. He doesn't lead by example. He's a piss poor leader. I mean, if he worked on his defense, maybe he could have been, 3-time defensive player of the year. You know what I'm saying? But he never works on his defense. You know, he's a great scorer. I'll give him that. He's not a good ball handler. He doesn't play well off the ball. But for some reason, the media just sucks him like a vacuum. You know? Oh, he's this great player. Like, for me, if I was running a team, if I had to choose 3 players, between 3 players, LeBron, Kawhi, or KD, guess who I'm picking last? KD. KD is a great player on a no. KD is he's a special breed. We have never seen the likes of KD before. You know, a guy that's, I'll probably say he's 6'11". I'm not buying he's 7 foot. I think he's the same height as the Undertaker. I think the Undertaker's like what, 6'11", 6'12". So, but anyways, man. But yeah, man. Like, he can handle the rock, not really, but he can shoot. He has a very good mid range. Yeah, he could shoot the ball very well. He's a scorer. I always viewed him as Melo. Like a taller Melo. If Melo was like super tall, that would have been Melo right there. Kevin Durant is like a taller version of Melo. You know, but I just wanted to say this: Kevin Durant will always be Robin. There's no shame in that. You know, like, he gave good 8 years to Oklahoma before they moved. You know, he wanted out of OKC because of Russ. He went to the team that beat him, won two championships, could have won four or three, but he decided, you know what, I wanted to do things my way because he knew that that team belonged to Stephen Curry, and it don't matter what he did, they would always be loved for Stephen Curry because Stephen Curry was there from the get go, you know. So he said that, I wanted to do things myself, my way. Okay, fine. When free agency hit, he had choices. I always say this: life is about choices. The choices that you make will reflect who you are later in life. You know, he could have chose my Knicks, but obviously my Knicks would have. He could have just done with Melo. He could have done what Melo did 10 years ago. If Melo would have just signed and trade with us, we wouldn't have to give up all our pieces. But obviously ownership was different then, you know. But if Kevin Durant would have chose the Knicks with the pieces that we already have, there's no telling what we could have become, with a Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? So not only that we have depth, but we have leadership. Yeah, leadership does not go well with Kevin Durant or Kyrie, but we have experience. We have veterans. I'll say it that way. No, he chose to go to a crappy organization that have no rings. That have the head coach is a rookie. He's never coached on this level before, and we've seen it already in the playoffs. So I believe this is Steve Nash's last year as head coach. But yeah, KD chose to go to the Nets. And then on top of that, he wanted James Harden. You know, the Nets gave the bag to the Rockets. James Harden felt disrespected because Kyrie left him out by himself on the island, and he wanted out. But the thing is, James Harden and Kevin Durant share the same philosophy. If things get hard, they don't pan out and fix it. They just go on to the next. And when that shit doesn't work out, guess what they're gonna do? Go to the next. And when that shit doesn't work out, what do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna go to the next and the next and the next and the next until they find that satisfaction that they need, you know? Instead of just sticking it out and trying to make it work, they just dip and bounce. You know what I'm saying? They like a dude in the club that just, bangs a chick and then just, boom, like 4 or 5 weeks later, like he find out he's gonna become a dad. He don't want that responsibility. You know what I'm saying? So he just dips. That's kind of like Kyrie. That's kind of like Kyrie, KD, and no, I give the benefit of a doubt for Kyrie. At least Kyrie stuck around. Kyrie, like when Kyrie's contract was up in Cleveland, he could have bounced, but he chose to stick around. So there's somewhat leadership in Kyrie, you know? No, I'm not gonna say leadership, faithfulness. There's some faithfulness in Kyrie. I'm not gonna call him a leader, but he does have faithful. He he does share quality. He does share faithfulness. But James and KD, hell no. You know. But obviously, I don't blame James Harden because James Harden was coming off the bench. Let's be real. I think this his best years was in Oklahoma. To be honest with you, you know, I remember that game where he took over that Spurs series when they finally got over the hump against the Spurs, and then they finally beat them to advance to the finals to face the Heat. That dude went off. He still did his thing in Houston, but I'm not ever gonna get with James Harden. You know, but yeah, man. I mean, people are just blind to the masses, man. I mean, I really don't know how, why. Like, is Kevin Durant really a one? Do y'all view Kevin Durant as a one? Meaning, is he Kawhi? Is he LeBron James? Is he Giannis? Is he MJ? Is he Kobe? Is he on that top one tier level? No, he's not. He's on the. I'll probably put him. I would probably put KD in tier two or tier three. Meaning tier two, in my opinion, is teams that can carry a franchise when you have players around him. Tier three is tier three is basically players who needs structural. No, not structural. Tier three is basically teams that need structure around them to go far. You know, and then tier one is basically it don't matter who you put around them, they will find a way to get the job done. Look at AI. AI never needed a superstar in Philly. Like, he literally dragged those Philly teams, back, not Philly teams, he literally dragged the 76ers to the playoffs. Even though they lost, that showed how great and talented he was. When the tough got going, when it got tough, he didn't bail out. He didn't say, okay, my contract is up, I want to be a free agent, I'm out. No, he stuck around, you know? But, it's not like can you imagine if AI lost? Not imagine, but that's like AI joining the Lakers that same year, the next following year that they just lost in the finals. Like, that wasn't his motto, that wasn't his motive. His motive was like AI's motive was okay, like, like he wanted to make it work in Philly, but obviously he just management just felt, you know, like he wasn't it. You know, he wasn't it. So, like, I have no problems with KD as a person. Think I'm pretty sure he's a cool dude. I just have a problem with him as a basketball player. Like, I just think that his head is not there mentally, physically, emotionally. You know, like, you see Kawhi, he's trying to make it work with the Clippers because he knows. He has that mentality. Paul George, he has that mentality. LeBron James, Giannis, they all have that mentality, that winner's mentality. KD don't know what it feels like because he's never done it by himself. You know, like, he literally had to go on a team that beat him to get a championship, and then the media is acting like it's okay. Now, if 90% of those players decide to ban Hop, then guess whose fault it is? KD, because we've never seen, like, even players in the 90s, 80s wasn't like that. When their contract was up, okay, you don't want to resign me, I'll go somewhere else. That's fine, you know? But they didn't go to the team that beat them, you know? Uh, People have sports backwards. I always say you can never treat sports like it's real life. Sports is nothing but fantasy. The numbers are not real. All these stats are just made up. They're made up, just like in the fairy tale. They made up. Like, did Rapunzel really have a long hair? Did Rapunzel really live in a tall castle with a wicked grandmother who never wanted to let her go anywhere? I mean, the only thing that's real about sports is championships. Because there's no like you know how many points you have to score? Like 9,600